Hey Cyborgs and Prosthetics, my name is Lisa Gilliland. I'm majoring in nursing, minoring in disability studies, and I am building a prosthetic exoskeleton arm stabilizer, which is a mouthful, but hopefully I'll explain a little bit more clearly. So this device is used for people who have disabilities in fine motor skills, and to explain it a little bit better, this is for someone who can move their arm quite well but can't focus on some things to touch. So I built this specifically for someone who is nonverbal and wanted to communicate via a keyboard, or a company that I know of is Dynavox. They make pressurized keyboards, so this is something that I was familiar with and kind of made everything based off of, but of course this could be used for other keyboards or possibly other things related to disabilities with fine motor skills. This prototype will be used for independent talking, so someone that probably would use a caregiver to help them talk with the Dynavox or with a keyboard, but instead could be using this technology to do it on their own, and they wouldn't need someone to rely off to talk, which I think is amazing. So originally I was going to 3D print all the pieces out of plastic, but it would have made the model a lot weaker. So instead I used materials like aluminum, steel, and hardened steel for my project. And this was to make things a lot more durable and for someone to relax in and not worry about damaging the product as much. You will see my dad in a lot of these videos, and that's because I'm building it in his garage. So that plays a big factor, and also because he so graciously allowed me to use his tools at his house, and he supervised me using them, of course, so I don't damage them, and gave me a lot of advice on like stability and how maybe to place things or how to get things done a little bit quicker. I had to do a lot of research on tension, exoskeletons, and stabilizers. So that had a lot to do with the design of things, and I actually talked to UTA's video production department, and they talked to me about the Steadicam and other devices like that, which a Steadicam is like a vest that you wear, and it has an exoskeleton arm that holds a camera, and so no matter which way that you jerk around the camera, it will always be focusing straight forward on whatever you point it at. So they use this in action films to, when there's a lot of movement, to keep it focused on the actors or whatever they want to be shooting. The rest is for you guys to watch in me making it. So, and actually I am using the arm right now. I'm not going to show you yet, but I am using the final product of the arm to move the camera as we speak. And I hope you guys really find this interesting, and it actually wasn't that expensive, so hopefully that gives you motivation to, if you decide to build prosthetics, gives you a little bit more confidence in that. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy this. Bye. I can't exactly replicate the kind of motion that my camera does with stabilization, but I can kind of do something similar with metal products and springs. So ways that we can make it a little bit more fluid is by having our drill bit be a little bit larger than our actual screw, so there's a little bit of space in between, and then using a polished washer so that the metal on metal doesn't grind. Line it up. To explain exactly what I'm doing. So I told you that this has to be a little bit bigger than our actual screw that we're putting in, but I didn't say exactly what we were screwing into. So the piece that I'm making right now is going to be like this top piece. It's 9 inches. And this one is going to be for right here in the forearm, but we're building an identical one for right here. Alright, so we're going to have to shave off this side of the metal and also this bottom side so that when we put it together, it won't catch on the other adjacent corners of the metal. So this is going to be the piece that we shave off on this corner so it's able to slide all the way this way. And we need this bottom corner so it doesn't catch going down on this side. All right, here we are. We got a screw, washer, our metal piece, another washer, and you can see the end of the screw. But we use a special nut that has nylon, which basically there's a piece of plastic at the very end that when you go all the way towards the end, it will screw into and will be stable. And then there's nothing sharp on the other side either. So. This is our right angle, the new one that we produced, version 2. And when you move it, it has more range of motion than the other, but it stops at a 90-degree angle. Whereas this one has both range of motion either way. It doesn't have a 90-degree. This would be 90-degree.
Here is our model for everything. As you can see, this part is what we just made. This is a poorly drawn spring. This is the piece that we made again, and our spring. This little piece is our armrest. We're not to that point yet. Right now, we're creating this joint. So we're taking a metal rod, bending it out here by cutting out a big chunk in the middle of it so that it bends properly, and then connecting it with another rod.
Continue. Do it on here. Screw back. Woohoo! This is kind of an idea of what it's going to be like. We're going to mount an armrest to the bottom of this piece that you can sit your arm in. You extend this way, and there'll be springs in the middle of each of the trapezoids. It's so much more universal if you have this piece measure the height between the bottom seat and upwards versus the back of the chair that isn't always universal in height. Update from last video, we added on this piece. We added in the springs to help reinforce the weight of your arm, but if you rest your arm, it kind of takes the weight of it off. So we mounted the PVC arm piece to hold your arm in place. We got another one of these hardened steel clamps to help with stability. Otherwise, if it was just one, we were relying the entire weight of the arm on just one screw. So we got 2 of those, and then it's kind of universal to whatever size you are, or it has to come up to your shoulder blade because this is where that joint is going to be. So wherever it falls on your arm is where you're going to have to put that screw in so that it has that movement.
Couple concerns. This hinge right here is supposed to move this way, back and forth like a seesaw. The problem with that is that when he moves it like that, your arm wants to move off to the side towards the clamps, which it makes contact with the clamps, causing friction there, as well as it doesn't do the purpose of bringing your arm towards the center of gravity of your body. So we're going to have to change this style so that it doesn't move this way, but instead moves this way. We made 3 so that the spring, when it attaches, it can go to each one of these. This being more tension, this relieving with a little bit less tension.
We use these swinging hinges that attached here through another one of these long screws, but it didn't give us the motion that we really wanted that kind of demonstrated how our arm typically moves. So we're taking these L brackets off, and we're gonna put this on. This is the original spring that was in. This is the one we're gonna put in. All right, guys, this is it. Here are the movements. This way, or I could do it with my arm, and then moving backwards this way. We put on the Velcro straps. If I were to be meticulous about things and fix, I guess it doesn't need to be fixed, but with your arm, it's not like a tube. Of course, your wrist is smaller than your forearm, so I would narrow it in, which we could solve that by just making this it comes in a little bit more, shaving it down so that the Velcro touches more of your skin and you're able to adjust a little bit more, just kind of like what is happening up here. But that's gonna have to be for project number 2, because project number 1 I think is just fine the way that it is. It's a prototype. So, I think that's all I have to say. about the project. And thank you guys for watching. Tune in later. Bye.